Hello again, Gooners. I do believe I'm on your screen again. This has been a while. It's been a really long while since I was last here chatting to you guys, and I'm talking about something slightly different to normal. Yes, it's going to be the loosecannon.co.uk, but now we're in action. It's the Fantasy Football League. It's all kicked off. Actually, I was a bit late putting my team entry in, which is accounts for my poor position in some of the leagues that I'm involved in. But enough about that. Let's have a look at my team selection. Just in case you don't know, there's a bit of bad news around the Arsenal camp. Don Howe sadly passed away. So what can you say? I mean, another unexpected death, and obviously Jimmy Hill passed away as well. I'm not going to dwell on those things though, because well, I wish we could just bring these great people back into this world. But anyway, I don't want to get all philosophical because I'm not very good at that. But I'm probably not very good at talking about fantasy football either, which is why my team's not doing that well. So let's have a look at what I've actually got. Well, I started off all right with the kit at least. The kit is what you'd expect for an Arsenal fan. Let's scroll down. This is not what you'd expect. Butland in goal. What's that all about? Some of you might say. I'll tell you what it's about. Butland is a decent goalkeeper, and he may well win loads of caps for England. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Bellerin, meanwhile, won't win loads of caps for England, but he's a top Spanish right back. In my selection, he's on the left, but it's not all about positioning your players. If you're new to fantasy football, let me tell you that much. It's really about the players that get you points. It's all about that. And Bellerin gets quite a few assists, and Arsenal have been reasonably good at keeping clean sheets too. Dan of Crystal Palace, he's done really well. That's why he's in my team selection. He's done well, and he gets a few goals coming from defence, which is good going. Chris Smalling um, didn't play too well last weekend, but again, he's a good one to have in your team. Fernandinho, no one really talks about him much. Man City midfielder, but he racks up the points. De Bruyne, he joined Man City quite late this season, but he's done really well since his arrival in the last transfer window. Juan Mata, of course, you can't deny that he's a top player. I can only have 3 Arsenal players in my squad. That's the maximum allowed. So I've gone for Mesut Ozil, who's my captain. That means he gets double points. He's doing really well. Obviously, he's an assist maker supreme. Giroud, Olivier Giroud, I'm a big fan of him, so I thought I'd play him up front as opposed to Theo Walcott, because Walcott tends to get injured a little bit too much for my liking. I've got just across the other side of North London, Igalo, he's playing up front, and Vardy, of course, you can't knock Vardy, even though he gets knocked. He's got an injury, according to this. But you know what it's like with Vardy. Vardy doesn't even seem to know what injured means. He just carries on, regardless. On the bench, got My Hill, who's picked up loads of points. Redmond of Norwich, who's again he's a good player, but he's cheap at the price, which is why I bought him for this game, because I think my budget is about £0 and 0 pence. I spent everything I've got. Dawson of West Brom. West Brom, obviously the same team as My Hill. They are very disciplined because Tony Pulis' boss makes sure of that. And then Fonte of Southampton, and they're obviously up against Arsenal. I picked these players mainly because they were good value for money, and that was the reason. But this week is a very special week because it's the first ever week of the cup for me, at least. This is my debut tournament, league tournament. It's certainly my first ever game in the cup, and I'm playing the Wild Bunch. So let's have a look at the Wild Bunch, see if there's anything that I should be worried about. Um, well, let's have a look at the kit first. It looks like Doncaster Rovers meets Manchester United because black shorts there. Check in goal. Well, clearly we're hoping he's going to keep a shutout against Southampton. He's similar to me in that he's got Ozil and he's got Giroud, so not a huge amount of difference there. He's actually got Mahrez, who's one of the top point scorers in this game. Barkley doing really well for Everton in midfield. His defence isn't that strong because he's got a Liverpool guy in Klein. And Liverpool, I don't know what's going on with them at the moment. I thought Jurgen Klopp was going to cut it there, and when it sort of swings and roundabouts. 1 minute it's great, next minute it's the opposite. Kolarov, I expect he's going to start doing well again soon. Azpilicueta, I was quite tempted to go for some Chelsea players now that Jose Mourinho is gone. So Anyway, the Wild Bunch have got a Chelsea player in the back four. Let's see who he's got on the bench. He's got Guzan. Um, that's not a very shrewd acquisition, is it? I used to think, I say that, how can I be critical? Guzan was a player that I wanted Arsenal to buy a few years ago. So now how silly do I feel right now? And I don't think he makes horrendous mistakes. I just don't think he's protected particularly well by the back line at Aston Villa, even though they've now got an Arsenal ex-player in Remy Gard there. Ayew, obviously a very good player playing for Swansea, who is struggling a bit of late. Dyer of Spurs, we don't want to talk too much about him, but he does score goals. And he's not really a defender, even though in this game he's classed as a defender, which makes him a good acquisition. And then you've got Jones of Manchester United. I'm not too sure how many points he's got, but he's certainly not on my radar right now. So that's who I'm up against in the cup, the Wild Bunch. So wish me luck. You might want to wish me luck in the league as well, because in the league I've also got formidable opposition, and arguably even more so. So let's have a look. Shall I let you know my little secret about who I've got in the league? Look at me, 9th place, but I'm only 3 points behind the leaders, so it's that crucial that I get 3 points from this game. But I'm not thinking that's going to be an easy thing at all. There I am, languishing in 9th spot, and my next opposition, I won the last game, as you can see, against Deleted, and my next game is against the Reds. Interestingly enough, though, the Reds do not wear red. In fact, they wear white, probably because whoever this guy is couldn't be bothered to actually give his team a kit, and that gives me some hope that perhaps he can't be bothered to replace his players. But looking at that lot, it's not a bad bunch at all, is it? Myhill in goal, Klein of Liverpool, Alderweireld, easy for me to say. He got 6 points in the last game, and he's been getting points pretty much left, right and centre. Spurs, I'm expecting to do quite well, sorry about that, against Norwich, because it is at the Lane after all. And I think after their setback against Newcastle, they won't let that happen again. He's got Dan and Kolarov. These two players have racked up a lot of points, but didn't do so last week. He's got Ozil, or Ozil, as Jamie Carragher likes to call him. We've got Ayew, Mahrez, and Mata. It's a pretty good team, isn't it? And then Vardy and Nagalo up front. So some similarities there. Let's have a look at his bench. He's got Payet, so that suggests a bit of neglect going on there, because Payet has been injured, long-term injured for quite a while. So you have to ask yourself why he's still not getting rid of him. But he's got Harry Kane on the bench. I mean, what's going on with that? That's a little bit worrying for me, because if he puts Harry Kane in and Harry Kane scores, and then Alderweireld helps keep a clean sheet for Spurs, I'm really worried about this game more than the other. Anyway, if you've got any tips, fantasy football tips, do let me know. And obviously any Arsenal stories, I'm particularly...
He's going to say interested in what... He's only going to say away. I bet I'll say it for him then. Away.